Sex, porn, love addiction is all about self-soothing to manage your emotions. It got set up back in the childhood development years. It's just not about sex. It's not about porn. It's all about the repeated use has set up the physiology to crave those dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, self-manufactured drugs in the body. It's impacting women, men, children aged 10 to 75 across all the age ranges, the sexes, the cultures, the professions. It increased exponentially during COVID lockdown and impacting so many lives. The Kairos Center has created the first online comprehensive sex, porn, love addiction. It's a video on demand recovery program which you can access from anywhere in the world and begin to see identifiable changes just within 6 weeks of beginning this weekly program. Kairos means your appointed time. Isn't it your time to reclaim your life? Bring color back to life without shame. Click the link below and begin your journey. You owe it to yourself and to others. In this session, I want to give to you some really practical tools that I would like you to start to use as quickly as possible. They come out of the EMDR work that I do. EMDR, eye movement desensitization reprocessing. What a long term for this really interesting model of therapy that I provide. And I talk about this being something of a work we can do before we embark on the recovery program. Having done the history taking with many of my clients, we identify some unresolved issues from childhood and trying to process them, get them to a way better place in an individual's life, sets them up for potentially way better outcomes, hopefully sooner, in terms of achieving their sobriety. I'm choosing my words really carefully because I don't want to say because we sort out childhood problems that have continued in adulthood, it means your sobriety is going to be straightforward. But what it means is the base on which your self-soothing was established and often kept going because of trauma, stress, tensions, and the brain finding coping strategies for managing that in childhood. By resolving those issues, processing them, putting them into a way better place where they're no longer problematic in your life, even in adulthood, then of course the basis on which the repeated patterns of sex, porn, love addiction behaviors were predicated is removed, setting you up for a much better platform for springboarding off of to achieve your sobriety. I hope that makes some sort of sense. So what I want to give to you are some tools to help you when the going gets really tough, when you're triggered and you're finding it really difficult to get back control over your emotions. Try using these tools. Indeed, these tools come into their own and are aids, companions alongside you if you are willing to practice them on a regular basis. As soon as you understand how to use them, start to use them regularly, and they will help you to shift quite quickly the frame of mind that you are in. So, coming out of my EMDR work, they're given these terms the 4 elements. I will attach them to the notes for this particular session so that you have got them to read through again for yourself. But it begins first of all in you finding something that you can wear on your person, on your body throughout the day, that your eyes are not familiar with, and therefore through the day can act as a trigger point to say, scan your body, what mood, what frame of mind, what emotions are going on. Are you feeling upset, in a low mood, stressed, anxious, tense? That represents a trigger to remind you to use these tools. Not sure if I put that very well. Let me just say it again. So you find something, in this case, this band, I can wear it on my wrist, and when throughout the day my eyes catch sight of this item, I am reminded to just scan my body, metaphorically speaking, and see how I am feeling. If I am feeling in any way in a negative mood, then that is a reminder to use these tools. The first of those tools is Earth. Earth, it sounds very new agey, but I hope you don't mind the term so much, but understand the description of each one. So Earth is all about, am I grounded? Am I physically present? In other words, there is this term called dissociation. When as individuals, some people feel very anxious, very stressed, they may actually dissociate. What is dissociation? It's my way of describing it, but dissociation is something about I separate from myself. You could call it a sort of a out-of-body experience. The way I view it actually is when somebody is dissociating, it's like they become a hot air balloon, a part of them, and they're floating off. And what we want to do is bring that other part of them back down. In other words, it's a bit like you're sort of Jekyll and Hyde, two different people, two different persons in one. A part of them finds a way to just go. Now, can you imagine why the brain would give somebody a coping strategy like dissociation in a really traumatic situation where they really would have such a great difficulty continuing to live life? And I often use, it's not the best of examples, but I guess by using it you perhaps understand it. The child abuse situation where, can you imagine a young child, a family member, constantly going to their room and childhood sexual abuse is taking place. The child can't escape. The child therefore, through their brain, learns that I will just lay there and let my body be done to, but a part of them just goes, so they are no longer present. Do you understand that? And so what's really important about that dissociation that takes place is it is a coping strategy, but later in life it becomes a coping strategy that has gone wrong, in the sense that when you're in adulthood, you don't want to separate from yourself in a highly stressed, difficult situation. Some might feel that you do, but actually you can't really work with somebody who is dissociated. So what we need to do is check, have you actually got any of these coping strategies of dissociation? We need to make sure that you are brought back. And so what we're doing is saying, are you grounded?